Trembling all over, he sat on a melting ice floe. Oh, and the fishermen were surprised to find out who needed help. Trembling all over, the animal sat on an almost melted ice floe. For this Arctic fox, everything would have ended sadly, but fortunately a fishing boat passed by. People noticed that someone was sitting on a melting ice floe, which was about to fall apart. The block was held above the water on a thin ice leg. Of course, the ship's crew was not prepared for such a catch, because fishermen were accustomed to catching crabs, not Arctic foxes. People admit that they did not immediately understand what this dark speck on the ice floe was, but they decided to swim closer to take a closer look. A small Arctic fox sat on a cold white surface. The animal was clearly not feeling well. It was wet, cold and, in addition, tired of fighting off the impudent seagulls that had scented easy prey. The ship's crew began to rescue the animal. At first, people wanted to remove the animal from the ice floe with their hands, but it was scared and did not want to let rescuers get close to it. Then they had to break the ice leg with a boat. When the Arctic fox fell into the water, he was quickly caught using a fish net. The rescued animal was placed in a plastic tray, previously covered with sawdust. When the Arctic fox dried out and stopped trembling, the crew of the ship treated him to Vienna sausages, from which the pet was truly delighted. The animal was then taken to the port of William Harbor. The Arctic fox spent another 2 days there, and then people returned him to his natural habitat. The animal behaved calmly and did not show any aggression. A few hours later, he even began to rejoice when someone from the crew approached him. The baby clearly liked human company. Before this, no one had seen an Arctic fox at such a great distance from the coast. He probably wanted to find something to eat, but when a piece of ice broke off, the kid was in trouble. If it weren't for the crew of the fishing boat, the animal would have had a hard time. Most likely, it would have died. But when the baby was already released into his native environment, he was cheerful and healthy. We hope that everything will be fine with the Arctic fox in the future.